Hey guys, it's Sarah. All right, so it's book haul time. I hope you have some coffee or a snack or a beverage of your choice, whatever that may be, because I have a book haul today and it's going to be more than 50 books, you guys. All right, so here's what happened. I don't know what happened. I do know that as of today, not all the books are even here yet, but I'm really getting to a point where my pile is getting so big that it's giving me anxiety and I need to put them on my bookshelves. So I'm using this time right now while I have some time to go ahead and show you what I have right now. And then when the rest of them come in, I will just do another part at the end of the video. But I really just want to get them off of my cabinets right now and get them into my bookshelves. And then I also want to go through my bookshelves before I even put these on there and pick out some stuff that I'm going to be willing to unhaul, probably starting next month. So it's really just I'm watching them pile up and I can't. And they're not even all here yet. I'm still waiting for a book outlet box, which has 11 books in it. And then I have at least 3 more review books coming. So speaking of review books, I have 5 review books to show you, and then I also have one that I won for a giveaway, so I'm going to start with those. Almost all of these I actually just mentioned in my video where I talked about having to start testing for the GRE, and so I showed you what I was going to be reading. So some of these you've already seen, so I'm just going to go through them really quickly. First one is A Paris All Our Own, edited by Eleanor Brown. This is a book of short stories from authors who have written about the city of Paris and kind of their experiences doing that. And I have The Confusion of Languages. This is by Saban Fallon. I'm actually more than halfway through this book right now, so I am excited to go ahead and finish this up, but I should have a review up. Actually, the review for this one will probably be up on my channel already by the time I upload this. I'm planning, excuse me, to finish it this weekend and then have a review video up on the 27th, which is the release date for this one. So I'm hauling it now, but I've probably already read and reviewed it for you. This next one came as a surprise. I didn't know they were going to send this to me, but it's super awesome. And I have a finished copy of Hum If You Don't Know the Words, and this is by Bianca Maris. So I do have an art copy of this one already. So when I do my review for this one, which should be up around July 11th, which is the release date for this, I will probably do a giveaway for that because the publisher did not offer to do giveaway, but I'm going to have 2 copies because I have my art copy and then a finished copy. So I will probably be giving away one of those in that video. So be on the lookout for that. But they sent me a finished copy, which is super awesome. And all 3 of those were from Putnam, so thank you, Putnam. I was also contacted by Delacorte Press, and they asked if they could send along a special edition of this book, and it's a book that I actually haven't read yet, so I was like, yeah, I haven't read that one. It's pretty popular, and it's We Are Liars by E. Lockhart. I do know the surprise twist in this one, because my book club read it the very first month that I joined. I ended up going to the meeting, and this is the book that they read, so they were talking about it, so I heard, you know, what the whole mystery behind this is, but I'm still willing to give it a read and see what I think other than that. But it's pretty short, so you know, it's no problem for me to get through this. But this is a deluxe edition and it just came out, so it's really pretty. And this next book was sent to me for review. This is one that has been released already, and I was contacted by the publicist for it, and the author ended up sending it to me. It's called Pigeon Blood Red by Ed Duncan, and I think this is the first book in a series. It's like a murder mystery type thing, I believe. But I agreed to receive it and review it, so I'm excited to do that. Okay, so those are all the review books I have right now. And again, I do have 3 more coming. They're just not here yet, so I will just add those on to the end of the video when I do get them. And this next one, I wanted to give away from my sweet friend Andy, who I just finished buddy reading Hamilton with. And she had some sort of subscriber count giveaway on her channel, and I ended up winning, so that was super awesome. And she gave me up to $20 for a book depository, so any book I wanted, that was up to $20. And oh my gosh, you guys, how pretty is this? So I got Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and I had to get the UK cover because it is, I can't, it's so pretty. Like, I hope I like this book. I've heard mixed things, but I hope I like it because this cover is just to die for. It's so pretty. Can you see it shiny? It's so shiny and gorgeous, and the dragonfly, and I can't. It's so pretty and everything. Oh, I love it so much. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love, love, love this cover. So thank you, Andy, so much for doing your giveaway, and I really appreciate it, and it's just so stunning. Okay, this next set of books are books that I got from a friend of mine, and she is in my book club, Tiffany. Hey, girl. All right, so she reads as much as I do, and she went through her bookshelves and posted on our book club Facebook group that she had a stack of books she was getting rid of, and they were up for grabs. And I was like, girl, I want like 5 of those, and I got 5 of them. So I will show you what I got from her, and she took some of mine too, so we kind of did a little bit of a trade. Okay, the first one is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer, and this is by Michelle Hodkin. This is the first book in the Mara Dyer trilogy. I don't know what this is about. I think I've heard things here and there. It gets mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people love to hate it, so that kind of thing. So I figured I would grab the first one while I could, while it was free, and see what I think. Okay, this next one, Tiffany warned me she didn't like it, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. So this is a Cinderella retelling, and this is by Sarah Pembroke. It's called Charm, and it's very short, you know, very small book, so it'll be easy for me to get through, but the author grabbed me because I really like Sarah Pembroke, and so I wanted to give this one a try just to see. I'm not going to go in with high expectations because Tiffany did tell me she didn't like it, but I figured I'd give it a try anyway. Next one is A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. This is the first book in the Gemma Doyle trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. And I've heard mixed things about this one too. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people love to hate it. So we'll see. I've never read anything by Libba Bray yet, even though I own 2 other books by her. But I haven't read anything yet. So, you know, I'll give the first one a read and see what I think. More of a cover than anything. I was like, ooh, that cover's gorgeous. I'm going to try that out. And I've heard of the author. So I got Tiger's Curse by Colleen Hook. Hook? I don't know how to say her last name. So we'll see. I did just see someone review this, and she absolutely hated it. And I was like, great, perfect. That's sitting in my pile right now, ready to be hauled. But it's okay. I still try not to let other people's reviews sway me because I have liked things before that other people didn't like, and I don't like things that other people do like. So, you know, to each his own. I won't know until I actually try it. But yeah, so I believe this one is a fantasy book about a girl who is trying to help a prince who has a curse on him where he turns into a tiger. I think that's it. So yeah, we'll see. And the last one I grabbed is The Book of Fate, and this is by Brad Meltzer. I think I might have read this already, but I can't remember. I know I've read a book by him, and I remember we were in Texas when I read it, and I really, really liked it. I flew through it really quickly. I just can't remember if it was this one or if it was something else, but this is a standalone book, so I can read this without having to read anything else. But I just can't remember if it was this one or if it was something else, but I do remember liking it, so regardless, if I start reading this and then it sounds very, very familiar, you know, then I'll know my answer. But I don't remember like the story in general. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a try and see if it sparks any memories or not. But yeah, but I do remember reading a book by him and I really liked it. All right, so these next books are also from Tiffany, and I owe her big time now because she posted a stack of books and said, hey, Sarah, weren't you interested in this series? And I said, yes, and I have the first 5 already, and she had a whole bunch of the rest of the series. So I haven't done my research yet into what order these are in or what numbers they are or anything, so I will do that here before I put them away. But she had a whole stack of books from the Left Behind series by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins, which I have the first 5 books. I'm excited to get started on it. She had a whole bunch of hard copies that she was getting rid of, and so I took what she had that I didn't already have. So I'm just going to go off these really quickly because I don't know what order they're in or anything like that. But I have The Mark. I have A Desecration, Glorious Appearing, Armageddon, The Indwelling, The Remnant, and Assassins. They're starting to pile up. Can you tell? Okay, so yeah, she was getting rid of all these. They're hardback. They're fantastic. They're beautiful. I was like, oh my gosh. So Tiffany, I owe you, girlfriend. Like seriously, first dibs on anything I get rid of all the time, always. Okay, next stack is Goodwill. I have made out pretty well for the past month or so with Goodwill. I found quite a few things that I was really, really excited to get. First one I picked up was And I Darken by Kirsten White. When I saw this on the shelf and it's a hardback and it's perfect, I was like, is this real? Is this really happening? I have been very, very intrigued by this. This is a young adult historical fiction, which is a gender swap of Vlad the Impaler. So basically the character of Vlad the Impaler is a female in this one, and she's a very brutal ruler. So I've heard very, very good things, and I am excited to read this. The second book just came out, I believe. So I definitely want to read this one and see what I think, so I can pick up the second one if I really, really like it. But I always wanted to own this because the cover is so beautiful. It's got a sword and it's cutting flowers. And the second book, the cover is beautiful on that one as well. So if I really like this one, I will go ahead and pick up a hard copy of the second one. But yeah, I was so stoked to find this. This next one, I did a little dance and I found it on the same day, and that is The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I have wanted this book for the cover. Look at this cover. Isn't it gorgeous? This is one of the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my entire life. And supposedly there's a YouTube video out there that shows how they made this cover, so I'm going to go watch that. But oh, I just love it. It's so beautiful. And I have also heard nothing but amazing things about this book as well. This is a young adult book that follows a girl from Jamaica, and her family is about to get deported back to Jamaica. And then in one day she ends up meeting a boy who is of another nationality. I can't remember what it is. I want to say Chinese maybe. And they form a bond in that one day. So I've heard extremely, extremely good things about this one. I loved her first book, Everything, Everything. I read it in one day, and I'm excited to get to this. This next one is a book by an author that I have not read yet, but I have heard so many good things about, and I'm actually starting to collect a couple of her books. I have a couple coming from Book Outlet, in fact, and that is That Night, and this is by Chevy Stevens. And I think that she writes like mystery type books, but I am excited to give her a try because I haven't read anything by her yet, and I've really heard great things, and she's been recommended to me a lot. So I was excited to find this at Goodwill. Okay, this next one is one that I've seen around a little bit, and I had not heard anyone talking about it, but I've seen the cover and I thought it was just so cute. And then I read the synopsis and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. So this is The Readers of Broken Wheel Recommend, and this is by Katrina Bivald. And this follows a set of pen pals who one is in the US and the other one is from a foreign country. I can't remember which one, but they're pen pals and they talk back and forth about books and stuff. And then the foreign pen pal comes over to visit the American pen pal, only to find out that the American woman has passed away recently. So yeah, and she ends up staying there, I think, and opens a bookshop because that was kind of their dream to do that together, they talked about. So yeah, I saw this there. It was super cheap, again, like $2, and I love this cover. I think it's beautiful, and it's about, you know, a bookshop opening, and I'm really excited about that. So I thought I would give this one a try. Okay, this next one I have heard talked about by Reagan at Peruse Project, and that is Sold, and this is by Patricia McCormick. This is about the sex slave trade and human trafficking and all that. I have heard it's heart-wrenching and very eye-opening, so I think this is one that will challenge me most definitely. Probably scare the crap out of me, but it will challenge me. It's pretty short, but I thought I would give it a try. This next one I was excited to see, and that is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This is book 1 in his Walking Chaos trilogy, and it's one that I've been very interested in. I hear it's very quirky, and a lot of people really like it. I have heard a couple people who just didn't like it quite as much, but you know, Patrick Ness is such a popular author, and the only one I read by him so far is A Monster Calls, which was fantastic. I absolutely loved it. But this is an adult, more of an adult type of book. So I'm interested to give this first book a try and see what I think and if I want to get the rest of the trilogy. But I was excited to see it for cheap. Okay, this next one. I've heard about this on one person's channel. I can't remember exactly who it was. I want to say it was maybe Little Book Owl. And it was a few months ago that I saw her read and talk about this, but she absolutely loved it, just raved about it. And I was like, huh. And then it got to a point where I looked it up, you know, to kind of see where I could pick it up. And I never did pick it up. And I'm glad I didn't because I got it for $2. But that is Wool, and this is by Hugh Howey. And this is, I believe, like an urban fantasy book. And that's all I really remember about it. But it's supposed to be like really, really good, and she couldn't put it down. So I grabbed it while it was cheap. Okay, this next stack here are books that I got from Amazon. I ended up receiving a very generous gift card from a friend of mine, just like a little thank you for something that I helped her out with, and I used the crap out of it. So I got a few books here. The first one I got was Empire of Dust, and this is by Eleanor Herman. This is her second book in the Blood of Gods and Royals series. I have the first one, which is called Legacy of Kings, so I have the second one here. I am getting these in paperback. I have not started the series yet. I really need to know if I want to continue, because the third one of this just came out too. Obviously, I'll wait till paperback for that one. But I love these covers. They did a cover change from the first book, and I got the first book when it did the cover change for the paperback, and I loved it. So the covers are gorgeous for this one. So I grabbed the second one. This next one I actually kind of mentioned in my Read-A-Rama wrap-up. It's the one that I actually went to Goodwill to try to find, and they didn't have a copy, so I went ahead and got it on Amazon. But this book we are reading for book club for this month, for the month of July, sorry. And that is Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. We are reading a book that is takes place in or on the water. So this is the one that won. I'm really excited about this. This is one I've been wanting to read. I've heard amazing things about it. And yeah, so I was happy to get on Amazon and grab it. All right, these next books here are a box set that I picked up. It's a series that I've been wanting to pick up for a while. I've heard really, really good things about it, and I just wanted to give it a try myself. So I got the Unwind series by Neal Shusterman. So I got the box set of the 4 main books in the series. So it is Unwind, Unholy, Unsold, and Undivided. So I went ahead and grabbed these. These are paperback, and they have these great covers here. I'm not going to pull them all out, but that's what they look like. I really like the covers a lot. And then I also went ahead and got Unbound, which are stories. So these are like little short stories based in the world and on the characters and all that. So I went ahead and grabbed this too. And this last one that I got on Amazon is one that my sister actually recommended to me. She had found one, I think, in a thrift shop or something, and it was an old like mass market copy, and she sent me a text and said, have you ever read these books? And I was like, no, what are they about? And she said, think Lord of the Rings without taking 5 pages to describe a meadow. I was like, oh, I'm in. Hence the reason I don't want to read Lord of the Rings. Okay, so I got Pawn of Prophecy by David Eddings, and this is the first book in his Belgrade series. I don't know how long the series is. I think there's at least 5 books in it, but I went ahead and picked up the first one, and I found this really awesome paperback copy on Amazon. This is not one that I could prime. This is one I had to get from a third-party seller, so I don't think you can get your hands on these super easily. They're not readily available. I had to wait a little bit to get this in the mail, but it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. So if I like this, I will probably try to pick up the rest of the series and these covers too, because they're really, really pretty. So my sister recommended it. She usually gives me great recommendations, so I figured I would go ahead and pick it up. Okay, these next books, guys. I have 3 books that I got at the dollar store. Why are they selling books? It's not okay for them to sell books. I don't think it's fair. I've gotten books from them a couple of times, and I haven't read any of them yet, but I have picked up a few here and there, and I went one morning just to see what they had, and I got 3 books. So the first one is Gun Machine by Warren Ellis. I don't know what this is about, but I read the synopsis when I bought it, so it sounded interesting for sure. It's just been a while. But I really like the cover. The cover really caught me, so I thought I'd give it a try. This next one is The Shining Girls by Lauren Bukes, and I believe that this one is a bit of a historical fiction about girls who were part of the nuclear era, and like something affects them somehow, like maybe they were tested on or something. That's all I remember. But this one gets really good ratings on Goodreads, so I figured I would go ahead and give it a try. But yeah. And this last one here that I got from the dollar store is The Visionist by Rachel Urquhart. Number 1, this cover is stunning. I love it. It's so pretty. It's like a vellum almost. This is another historical fiction. I think it is about a woman who can predict the future, or who has visions about what's going to be happening. So people start relying on her for that. That's all I remember. So yeah. Thanks, dollar store. Okay, these next two I actually just showed in my June Owl Crate unboxing, so I'll just show them to you again real quick. We ended up getting two books. The first one is New World Rising, and this is by Jennifer Wilson. This is a book that is published under the Of Tomes Publishing, who is an independent publisher in the UK, and the owner, Benjamin of Tomes, is a very popular YouTuber here, and that's his channel name, Benjamin of Tomes. So we got that, and then along with that, we also got the Sandcastle Empire, which I have actually heard has been optioned for a movie by Leonardo DiCaprio, which I just heard that. So that's pretty cool. So yes, we went and got this one too. And speaking of Owl Crate, this next one, I actually got a discount box from Owl Crate because they were selling some of their older boxes that they still had in stock for cheap. So I ended up getting this one for half price. So I got a full Owl Crate box for $15. Normally they're $30. So this one I think was from February, I want to say, but I got the Daughter of the Pirate King, and this is by Trisha Levenseller. And I think the cover for her next book in this series just got released as well. But so we got this one, and then along with that, we got a letter from her and then a signed book plate, which I've not put in the book yet. I'm about to do that right now. But I did go ahead and get that. I didn't do an unboxing because it wasn't like a brand new box. I wanted to wait and do my unboxings for the brand new ones that I get, but I went ahead and picked it up while it was cheap. Okay, two more books, guys, and then we'll take a break. We'll take a little snack break, and then I'll come back when I get the rest of them for the month. But I might have to wait another week for those, so we'll see. But I did go ahead and get a couple of things on Book Outlet. They were super duper cheap, and I think I had a $5 coupon, maybe. I don't know. I got them for some reason, and I was like, I'm gonna get these. Okay. First one is Nevernight. This is by Jay Kristoff. And I've actually heard mixed things about this too. I've heard more good things than bad. There have been a couple people who weren't so hot on it. But again, you know, that's for me to form my own opinion about. But this follows a girl who I believe is an assassin, and she goes to a school for assassins, and that's all I need to know. I'm in. So yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and get it when it was cheap. I know that there are arcs of the second book out already. People are already receiving them. I was like, oh man. So, but of course I need to read the first one to know if I even want to read the second one. But yeah, so yay. Next one scares me a little bit, guys. It scares me a little bit. I've seen it quite a bit. I've heard it talked about quite a bit. I've heard quite a bit of good things about it. So that's why I took the plunge and picked it up, and it was cheap. So I was like, okay, I got The Luminaries, and this is by Eleanor Catton. And this has been at Goodwill a couple times actually, but it was really beat up. Like the cover was just not good. And I was like, So I never did pick it up. So I just went ahead and got it on Book Outlet. A little more expensive than at Goodwill, but still pretty cheap, you know, for this really, really big paperback. This follows a man who I guess wanted to kind of start over in his life. He had a lot of bad things happen in his past, so he moves to New Zealand to kind of start over. And when he's there, there are things happening and things from his past are being brought up, even though, you know, he was trying to get away from all that. It's like he can't escape them. And this has something to do, I think, with like the stars and the alignments and astrology, I think, and things like that. So I've just heard very good things. I heard it's beautiful, so I figured I would give it a try, and yeah, so we'll see. Okay, so quick snack break. We're gonna break for a second, and I'm gonna come back as soon as I get all the rest of my books for the month. But yeah, I should be getting them next week. I just wanted to really just get this stuff off of my cabinets and get them onto my shelves. So break, I'll be right back. And they're here. All right, so obviously I have a big box down here, and I have 3 review books as well. Okay, we'll start with the review books. This first one, I got contacted by the publicist, and when I get contacted, usually I will look it up on Goodreads and kind of see what people are thinking about things so far, just to kind of get a feel for it. This book has a 4-star rating on Goodreads, which is huge. That's a really, really good rating. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So this is called Weave a Murderous Web, and this is by Anne Rothman Hicks and Ken Hicks. So I think it's a married couple writing this together, and it's definitely supposed to be a thriller, and very short, but like I said, it has like a 4-star reading on Goodreads, so I'm gonna definitely give it a chance. This one was published in 2016, so it's already been released, but so I don't have like a huge time constraint on me on this one, but I do want to read it this summer. This next one, I was contacted by the publisher, and when I did my research on it before I accepted it, this one has a lot of mixed reviews. It doesn't have very good Goodreads ratings, like 2. So that was a little bit of a red flag at first, but when I read the synopsis, it sounded like something I would be interested in. It sounds like it's going to be something fast-paced, and it's definitely a thriller. So I'm really getting to a point where I'm trying not to let other people's opinions sway my reading. You know, just because other people didn't like it doesn't mean I won't like it as well. So I do keep it in kind of the, you know, back of my mind that this doesn't have high ratings from other people, but at the same time, when I read the synopsis, I was interested, so that's what I need to concentrate on. Maybe I'll go into it with a little bit lower expectations. Okay, so I went ahead and accepted it, and I actually got 2 books. They're the first 2 books in the series. The first one is Maestra, and this is by L.S. Hinton, and then the second one is Domina, and Domina is coming out July 11th, so this is a new release. This one has already been out, so they sent me the paperback copy of this. And this one follows an art dealer. I'm not sure if she's an art dealer or she's involved somehow in the art world. She's working at a art institution or a gallery or something, and then notices that there has been some fishy behavior going on behind the scenes and like some money missing and all that. She ends up losing her job because of that. So definitely something is going on, and she kind of finds herself in the middle of all this drama that's happening. So I'm going to give it a try. It's not super popular among a lot of people, but even in the press release for this, there's a letter from the author that came with this book as well, and she talks about that. You know, she's like, some people love her, some people hate her, you know, and she said, I don't care if you love her or hate her, as long as it kept you interested, and as long as, you know, you were engaging in the book, that's all that really matters. And I thought that was very interesting. She's like, you hate her, okay, you have feelings, that's great. You know, so definitely going to give these 2 a shot. I did not make any promises until August because of my GRE thing, so this will not be happening super soon, but definitely before the end of the summer. If we do, it's not going to be till after tumbling. I love you. Honey, I'm filming it. Okay, so book outlet time. All right, I got a good sized box at Book Outlet, and the reason I went ahead and took advantage of this is because I had a really good discount code for it, and it was from Books and Lala, who is my favorite booktuber. I'll leave a link to her channel down below if you guys haven't checked her out yet. I highly recommend her. She is now a Book Outlet vlogger friend, so she has her own page on it, and she continuously gets books from Book Outlet to show and share, and then they go on her page and everything. So she is a brand new vlogger friend, and they gave her a discount code that people can use to get 25% off the entire site. And I'm not kidding you, I used that up like right away. So it happened. So I got a few things that were on my wish list, and a few things that I found just kind of when I was browsing around just to make sure I had everything I really wanted, and I ended up getting 11 books. Okay, the first one here is one that I haven't heard of, but oh, this is the cover by, guys. Look at this. All the Birds in the Sky. This is written by Charlie Jane Anders. I have no idea what this is about, but it's beautiful. Isn't that pretty? Like all the birds and stuff, and look at the spine. Oh, it's so pretty. I have no idea what this is about. And I'm not going to sit here and read it because this video is getting really long. So I got this one. And then I got a duology. I think it's just a duology. I don't think there's anything else that's supposed to be coming in for this. But I got Not a Drop to Drink and In a Handful of Dust, both by Mindy McGinnis. These are kind of dystopian type books, I think, where you're actually running out of water. Literally, like the world is running out of water. It's starting to run dry, and what's that going to do? So these are both in paperback, and they were on there and cheap, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I've heard very good things about these. And then I got a couple books that are from an author that I really want to get into and start reading because I've heard very good things about her, and I actually had one of her books previously in this video. So I got a couple more books from Chevy Stevens. This one is Always Watching, and this one is Those Girls. So definitely thriller books, and this is an author that I want to get into. This next one is another author that I haven't read yet, but I really want to, and that is Ryan Groudon, and I got The Walled City. I believe this is about a city in China, I think, that is completely walled in, and it's like a fight for your life type of situation. So we follow a young girl who's trying to fight for her life. She has a limited amount of days before she's going to be killed or dies or something, so she's trying to get out of this wall city. I've heard very good things about Ryan Groudon and her writing in general, so I grabbed it while it was cheap. Okay, these next three books are all by the same author, and they're actually books that I have seen in my library, which I bought them. I should have just gone to the library, whatever. These were super duper cheap though, and these are kind of like historical fiction, usually set in Texas, and really, really good Goodreads ratings as well on these, so I figured I'd give them a try. These are all by Layla Meacham. This one is called Roses. This one is called Tumbleweeds, and then this one is called Somerset. And this book, guys, was $1.20. Hardback, huge hardback, $1.20. So that's why I got them, because they are super insanely cheap. Like, and these are huge books. These are really, really big, but they have really good ratings. So, yeah. And this next one here is one that has been very, very popular recently. And gosh, it's heavy. But I got The Nix, and this is by Nathan Hill. I've heard completely amazing things about this book. This book is set, I think it's set today, but something happens where this man is going back and trying to find some things out about his mother and realizes she was a big part of like a 60s movement, and just kind of how that is affecting him and his family today. But I've literally heard nothing but good things. I've not heard a single bad thing about this book. A lot of people are talking about it. It's heavy. Like, I'm really surprised how heavy this is. But yeah, and it's really cute. I really like the cover a whole lot. So grabbed it. Okay guys, we're at the last one. Last book, I promise. Oh my gosh, okay. This is an author I have not read from yet, and considering how much I love thrillers and mysteries, I can't believe I haven't read her yet. So, Agatha Christie, I got And Then There Were None. And this is one that has been on my radar because I've heard a lot of people talking about it recently, which is very interesting because this is a very old book. But this is set, I believe, on an island, and it's a situation where it's a survival story between a lot of people on this island, and there's a reason for it. So kind of like a Survivor type thing. And yeah, so this is an anniversary edition. I think it's like the 75th anniversary, I want to say. It said it on the website when I bought it, but it's really cute. I like the cover a lot, and it's short. But yeah, I haven't read any Agatha Christie, and I really need to fix that. That's it. Oh gosh, that is so many books, and I got to figure out how in the world I'm going to fit them on my shelves now. We're going to have to see how this goes. Thank you guys for hanging around, and I know that was really, really long. That is definitely my biggest book haul ever, like no question, and I need to stop it. So going back in July, I'm going back to my in and out. So 1 in, 2 out, very, very strict. I already have some on reserve that can go, so if anything pops up that I'm not expecting, I have some ready. I'm excited to finish out the year like that and see if my numbers can be much better than they have been the first half of the year. And that's going to be it for me. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and please make sure you go check out Books and Lala down below, and I will also leave a link to Book Outlet if you have not been to their website. Do it. It's amazing. All right, I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day. Bye.